Okay, good morning everyone. So we'll continue where we left yesterday. So yesterday we were discussing about the bad impacts of climate change. So we discussed ozone depletion, we discussed ocean warming. So this is the next bad impact of climate change, ocean acidification. Page number 11, point number 6. From here we will start. Okay. So at point number 6, write this, ocean acidification. Point number 6 is related to ocean acidification. Okay. A solution can take different forms. Solution can be acidic, can be neutral, or can be basic. So we decide this on the basis of pH value. If pH value is less than 7, we say solution is acidic. Somewhere around 7, we say solution is neutral. And if pH value is greater than 7, then we say solution is basic. Those who know this, it's good. Those who are not from science background, just copy this information. We'll not go into details of this, what is pH, how to calculate pH, not relevant to your exam. Just copy this information, that on what basis you decide solution is neutral, acidic or basic, on the basis of pH value. And in acidic solution, concentration of H plus ions would be more. Okay, just copy this information. Okay. So on the basis of pH value, we decide what is the characteristic of a solution. What is our topic? Ocean acidification. So what it means, pH value of ocean water is going below 7. That is why we will say that ocean is becoming acidic, if its pH value is going below 7. But why ocean water becomes acidic, or why we are observing this problem all around the world? Why oceans are becoming acidic? See, there are many reasons, but the most common reason of ocean water becoming acidic is that oceans absorb CO2. Oceans absorb CO2 from atmosphere. Now there are many ways by which ocean absorbs. It can absorb through the plants which are present in the ocean. Algae which is present in the ocean absorbs carbon dioxide. Ocean water interacts with atmosphere and takes carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. So it's a natural process. Ocean absorbing carbon dioxide is a natural process, nothing wrong in that. But the problem comes when we release more and more carbon dioxide. We are burning more and more fossil fuels, petrol, kerosene, coal. So that means more carbon dioxide is produced. We are releasing more and more carbon dioxide. So if we are releasing more and more carbon dioxide, what oceans are trying? Oceans are trying to balance the things because it's a natural buffer. So ocean will absorb more and more carbon dioxide. We release more carbon, ocean will absorb more carbon because ocean is trying to balance the thing. So if we are putting more and more carbon dioxide in atmosphere, oceans will absorb more and more carbon dioxide. And this is the reason that they are becoming acidic. They are absorbing carbon dioxide beyond their capacity. And this carbon dioxide is making them acidic. Okay. Read the first three lines. First three lines, point number 6. Okay. More CO2 in the atmosphere means more CO2 in the ocean. More CO2 we release, ocean will absorb more and more CO2 and will become acidic. What problem it will lead to? If ocean become acidic, what will happen? Look at this image. Ignore carbon dioxide for the time being. There's no carbon dioxide. Ignore it for the time being. Okay. So now what you are looking at? You are looking at water and carbonate salts which are present in water. So this is ocean water. In ocean, salts are present. In ocean water, salts are present. So ocean water, carbonate is present in it. Natural process. Now this carbonate is needed by marine animals to make shells. Carbonate is needed by the marine species to make their shells. If you have gone to any coastal area, what you will find? You will find shank. What are those shanks? Those shanks are the shells of a marine species. Marine species live inside it. That shank protect it from external threats. Okay. And from what that shank is made up of? That shank is made up of carbonate. So marine species, they need carbonate to make their protective cover, to make their shells. Also, if you look at corals which are found in ocean, from what corals are made up of? Corals are made up of carbonate. Corals make their shells from carbonate. So that means this is very much needed in ocean. It's a natural process. When the problem comes? Problem comes when ocean absorbs carbon dioxide. So what carbon dioxide will do? Carbon dioxide will cause a chemical reaction. Carbon dioxide will cause a chemical reaction and will convert carbonate into bicarbonate. Carbon dioxide will convert carbonate into bicarbonate. So you can see this carbonate further will release H plus ions in water. You can see there are H plus ions in it. So it will release H plus ions, and whenever H plus ions concentration increases, solution becomes acidic. So this is ocean acidification. Ocean absorbing carbon dioxide causing a chemical reaction, Carbonate converting into bicarbonate. It releases H plus ions. So first problem you can see here itself. Carbonate is needed by species to make their shells. Carbonate is required by the species to make their shells, to make their skeletons. But here, carbonate is getting converted into bicarbonate. So that means concentration of carbonate will reduce in water. And species will not get carbonate to make their shells, to make their skeletons. They will not get carbonate. What will happen? Their shell will break because they are not getting carbonate in proper amount. So their shell will be weak, their skeleton will be weak, and their shell will break before time. They will die a premature death. If they are not having a protective cover, they will die a premature death. And if species started dying like this, you have studied about food chain, you remove one species from the food chain, whole food chain will break. That means the balance of ocean will collapse. The stability of ocean will collapse. Because species started dying premature death. They don't have carbonate to make shells. They don't have a protective cover. So this is the first bad thing you can imagine about ocean acidification. Read point number A. Only point number A. Okay. Let's see another problem related to echolocation. Related to ocean acidification. Echolocation is another problem. Okay. See, we have different natural cycles on Earth. The most common natural cycle that you all are familiar with, you all know about water cycle. You might have studied this in your school education. What is water cycle? Evaporation occurs, condensation happens, clouds are formed. From clouds, rainfall occur, water comes back on Earth. Water cycle, the most simple, most common natural cycle that you are familiar with. These natural cycles are called biogeochemical cycles. What do you call these natural cycles? Biogeochemical cycles. There are other natural cycles as well. Or sulfur cycle. They all are natural cycles which exist in nature. How carbon circulates, how phosphorus circulates, how sulfur circulates. You study any one of them. Randomly pick any one of them and look into details of it. You will find one thing common in all of them. One thing is common in all these natural cycles. You will find ocean is part of every natural cycle. Ocean is part of water cycle. Ocean is part of carbon cycle also. It absorbs carbon, just now I told you. Ocean is part of phosphorus cycle also. Phosphorus is present in ocean. Okay. So that means ocean is part of, or ocean is component of every natural cycle on Earth. But right now, what topic you are studying? Ocean acidification. That means ocean's characteristics are getting worse. So if ocean becomes acidic, what it will do? It will disturb all your natural cycles. Your natural cycles will be altered. They would be disturbed because oceans are part of it. And if ocean's characteristic changes, they will also change. The natural cycles will also be affected by that. Read point number C. Point number C. Okay. Let's see another problem. Echolocation. What is echolocation? They are some marine species, dolphins, killer whale. They have poor eyesight. They can't look, they can't see clearly beyond a limit. Their eyesight is very weak. So how they move in water if they cannot see beyond a limit? What dolphins and killer whales do, they release sound wave. Suppose a dolphin or killer whale has to move in this direction. So what dolphin or killer whale will do? Will release a sound wave in the same direction. So if dolphin wants to move in this direction, it will release a sound wave in the same direction. Sound wave will strike an obstacle. If there is an obstacle present, it will strike an obstacle, will be reflected back towards dolphin. So the deflected sound wave that dolphin receives back, dolphin observes that, observes the frequency, observes the shape of that sound wave, and decides what type of obstacle is present in front. So with the help of sound wave, dolphins or killer waves decide their path, which path they have to go, where they have to go, which path they have to avoid. Example, India's national aquatic animal, Ganga dolphin. Ganga dolphin is completely blind. Ganga dolphin cannot see at all. So how Ganga dolphin moves in Ganga? It emits sound waves. Sound wave strikes the obstacle, come back to Ganga dolphin. Then Ganga dolphin decides which path he has to choose. Now this process is known as echolocation. Echolocation. Echo, sound, location, your position. With the help of sound, you are deciding your position. Like you do navigation, by using internet, you decide your path, where you have to go. Same way they do. This is a natural process. But when the problem comes when there is carbon dioxide present in water. What this carbon dioxide will do? Carbon dioxide will absorb the sound wave. If dolphin releases a sound wave, carbon dioxide will absorb it. So what the problem would be then? If carbon dioxide absorbs the sound wave, the problem would be dolphin will not be able to receive it. Dolphin will release the sound wave, but dolphin will not receive it back because their sound wave would be absorbed by the carbon dioxide. So it means they will not receive the sound wave. They will not be able to find their path. They will not be able to select which path they have to move. So in what scenarios, what will you see? You will see images like this. Large species coming to your coastal area and dying. Now why these large species are coming to your coastal area? They rarely come to coastal area. These species live in deep ocean. Rarely they will come to coastal area. So what it shows, they are not able to find their path. They are not able to decide which way they have to go. Species like whales, rarely they come to coastal area. Coming to coastal area, it's very difficult to save them or rescue them in such conditions. So incidences like this, what they tell you, that these species are not able to find their path. Their echolocation has become very bad. Why their echolocation has become very bad? Because ocean is becoming acidic. Ocean is absorbing carbon dioxide. So this is third problem of ocean acidification. Read about it. Point number B. Yeah. It's its acoustic property. It can do this in water. It cannot do it in air, but it can do this in water. It's its acoustic property. Okay. Mostly carbon dioxide can do this. So these are the three problems that you have to understand. All these are related to ocean acidification. What will happen if ocean becomes acidic? Okay. So let's see next problem related to acidification. Look at this image. These are corals. Corals that you are looking here. These colorful species that you see here are corals. What are corals? Corals are animals. They are not plants, they are animals. Unique thing about them, they are fixed. They are fixed at one particular location. See, plants are fixed, animals move. Now this is that animal which is fixed. So that is why it is little bit unique. Otherwise animals, they move. So the colorful species that you are looking here, different colorful species, they are corals. One thing you can take out from this image is that there are other species present. So wherever you see corals in ocean, it means the region would be rich in biodiversity, because coral is home of many species. You can see apart from corals, there are other species also. So coral is considered home of many species. Wherever you see corals, it is a good sign. That means other species would be present there. That region would be rich in biodiversity. You're looking at an area where there is no pollution, no disturbance. Completely natural area you're looking at. No sort of disturbances there. A healthy ecosystem. Corals, what they can do? Corals make their shells. They make their shells from carbonate. Carbonate which is present in ocean. They take carbonate and make their outer shells. This is what they can do. There is one more species in this image which is not visible. So two species you have to consider. First is coral. There is one more species which is not visible because it is very small, and you can see that species only through microscope. That species is zooxanthellae. Zooxanthellae is a phytoplankton. What is phytoplankton? Plants. Plants that you find in ocean. So zooxanthellae is a plant and it is very small. You can see zooxanthellae only through a microscope. It is not visible through a naked eye. So zooxanthellae lives in the shells of corals. It lives in the shells of corals. Very small. So two species you have to consider. One which is visible to you, coral. Second, which is not visible to you but is present, zooxanthellae, which is living in the shells of coral. See, I'll tell you how zooxanthellae looks like. This is zooxanthellae. Now this, if you see coral's shell with a microscope, you will find zooxanthellae. It's a plant. So this is the microscopic image. And in this image, you can see green color in the body of zooxanthellae. Green color. Now what this green color is? This is chlorophyll. So it means zooxanthellae is a plant. It has chlorophyll in it. So zooxanthellae lives in the shells of coral. So two species you have to consider in this image. Coral, and in their shells lives zooxanthellae. Two species are part of this healthy and natural ecosystem where other species are also present. We have studied relations. So there is a relationship between corals and zooxanthellae. Zooxanthellae lives in the shell of corals. So that means zooxanthellae are getting a home. Corals are providing them a home or a place to stay. While zooxanthellae is a plant, it provides food to corals because zooxanthellae can do photosynthesis. Zooxanthellae is a plant, it can do photosynthesis. It can produce its own food. So zooxanthellae provides food and energy to corals. Also, the image that you saw that corals were of different colors. So that color is also provided by the zooxanthellae. So it's an exchange between them. Zooxanthellae are getting home, a place to stay. Corals are getting food and color. What type of relation is this? Both are getting plus plus. So in the very first class itself, you have studied about symbiosis. So when there is a sign of plus plus, what type of relation it is? Mutualism. So this is example of mutualism, relation between corals and zooxanthellae. Okay. Point number D, read the first paragraph only. Don't read the second paragraph. Read first paragraph. on for what? Species on land related to? There are many indicator species on land. There are many indicator species. For example, penguin is an indicator species of glacier melting. Okay. Tigers are indicator species of deforestation, anthropogenic disturbance, man-animal conflict. So this is the basic information about corals that you saw in the first paragraph. What corals are, what they can do. But the topic that you are studying is ocean acidification. So here everything is appearing fine. Everything is appearing good. When the problem comes when ocean absorbs carbon dioxide. Okay. So when ocean absorbs carbon dioxide, water will become acidic. So then the problem starts. See, some of you might be allergic to some of the components. Like you might be allergic to dust, you might be allergic to pollen, or you might be allergic to smoke. If you come in contact with your allergen, let's say you are allergic with dust, you come in contact with dust, what will happen? Your body starts showing some natural reaction. Itching on your skin will start, your eyes will become watery, sneezing may start because you are coming in contact with your allergen. So allergy is the natural reaction of your body. Nothing you can do. You can only avoid it. You cannot suppress it. You can only avoid the contact with your allergen. Otherwise, your body will start showing some reactions. Apply the same logic on corals. Corals are allergic to this. If water becomes acidic, what corals do? They expel zooxanthellae from their body. As a reaction, what they do? They throw out, they expel zooxanthellae from their body. So that means if water becomes acidic, corals will remove zooxanthellae from their body. If they remove zooxanthellae from their body, they will not get food, they will not get energy, they will not get color. So if corals don't get color, they will appear like this. This is the original color of corals, white, because they are made up of carbonate. If they remove zooxanthellae, they will appear like this. This is known as coral bleaching. What event you are looking at? This is coral bleaching. After this, because they are animals, they need food, but they have thrown zooxanthellae out of their body, they will not get food. So what will happen to these corals? They will die. After some time, they are completely dead. So if you compare these two images, what you will find that a healthy ecosystem, completely healthy ecosystem, natural ecosystem is destroyed. No corals, no biodiversity. A desert-like ecosystem you are looking at. So this is what ocean acidification can do. Coral bleaching and death of corals. Destruction of healthy biodiverse system, completely destroyed. Are you clear on this? So this is the fourth problem of ocean acidification, coral bleaching and death of corals. Read the second paragraph then. Okay then. So this concludes our topic of ocean acidification, where we discussed what is acidification and what it can do. So you observed different types of natural problems, different types of threat that ocean acidification poses, how much destruction it can cause. So again, whenever you are writing an essay, whenever you are writing an answer on climate change, mention this also in your answers, because this is also related to climate change. Because most of the answers that you see related to climate change, they will talk about only one thing. 90% of them, they will talk about one thing. Climate change, global warming, heat increases, glacier melts. Everyone will say this. Glacier melts, sea level rise. So everyone know about this. But you have to write something different. Then yes, this is the problem related to climate change. Ocean acidification is related to climate change. Coral bleaching is related to climate change. Ozone depletion is related to climate change. Ocean warming is related to climate change. So whatever we are discussing. So you can mention them in your answers or essays. Are you clear till this point? So then it comes to the most common problems, the problems that you know. What will happen due to global warming? Glaciers melt. Glaciers melt, sea level rise. This is the most common problem. Every now and then there is some headlines in the newspaper. They all talk about the same problem. Write it as your assignment. Write down. Read about global warming. Read about global warming's effect. Read about global warming's effect on glacier melting and sea level rise. Global warming's effect on glacier melting and sea level rise. So I'll give you overview of this topic. Look here. Image released by NASA a few years back. Now in this image, what you can see a glacier. Name of this glacier is Muir Glacier. It is in Alaska. This image is of 1941. This image is of 2004. Same area, same month. It does not, it appears that this is winter, this is summer. No. Same month, August. Compare these two images. You can see within 60 years how much melting has happened. In image, it appears this is a very small area. No, it is a very large area, which is completely gone, completely vanished. Again, a vast glacier, very big glacier, completely melted within 100 years. Very small area is left. So which place is this? This is Glacier National Park. Glacier National Park is in USA. There used to be 150 glaciers here. Right now only 10 or 12 are left. Rest all gone. Again, a glacier of Arctic. You can see the effect within 100 years, how the area is appearing to you. So all over the world, these glaciers are melting. It is not a bookish thing. It is not a theoretical concept. It is happening in real. Glaciers are melting rapidly all over the world. So that is what you have to understand. If these glaciers melt, where water will go? Water will go into ocean. And if water will go into ocean, sea level will rise. This is the most common problem that we are familiar with. But one thing you have to understand from the same topic. There is a concept in geography, albedo. Albedo is how much light a surface can reflect. Write down in the printout itself. Write down this definition. Albedo. Albedo is the reflecting capacity of a plane surface. Reflecting capacity of a plane surface. full stop. Best albedo is of, best albedo is of snow. Best albedo is of snow because it can reflect, more than 90%, because it can reflect more than 90% of the radiation. Full stop. Now look here. You have written that snow can reflect the radiation. It has got a good albedo. It can reflect more than 90% of the radiation. But if snow melts, if glacier melts, if there is no glacier, no snow, water will absorb the radiation. Water will not reflect it back. So if glacier melts, Earth's albedo will reduce. Earth will start absorbing more and more radiation. And Earth will become even more warm. They both are connected. If glaciers melt, Earth will become even more warm. The cycle will become intensified. So if this is given in MCQ to you, global warming leads to glacier melting. Statement 2, glacier melting leads to global warming. What will you do? Global warming leads to glacier melting. Statement 2, glacier melting leads to global warming. Are both of them correct? Both of them correct. Glacier melting will lead to global warming. Because if glacier melts, Earth will start absorbing more and more radiation. It will become warm rapidly. The warming will increase. Right here itself, write down. If glaciers melt, Earth will absorb. If glaciers melt, Earth will absorb more solar radiation. Earth will absorb more solar radiation and will become warm rapidly. Full stop. So we can say that glacier melting can increase the rate of global warming. Okay, look at this image. Peru's Cuelcaya ice cap. So this place is in Peru. Cuelcaya Glacier, Cuelcaya ice cap. It's a very big glacier. But expert says that the rate at which this glacier is melting, it will completely end by the year 2050. So by the year 2050, no glacier would be left. No sign would be left. Glacier would be completely gone. Now why we are talking about this glacier only? Because this is a unique geographical phenomenon. Peru is nearby equator. You don't see these big glaciers nearby equator. This big glaciers are present in pole. Okay. So it's a very unique phenomenon that near equator you have a glacier of this big size, but it is melting very rapidly, and by 2050 it would be completely gone. That is what the researchers or experts says. So headlines like this or articles like this, what they tell you? They tell you that the problem of global warming is real. Glaciers are melting all over the world. Even in Himalayas. Recent article, what it all talks about. Eastern Himalayas, Arunachal Pradesh. due to global warming, lost 110 glaciers in last 32 years. This is what the study says. So this rapid melting, what it tells you, that the temperature is increasing. Okay. It created glacial lakes. Snow melted and glacial lakes were created. So glacial lakes can lead to GLOF. GLOF is a disaster. Glacial lake outburst flood. When glacial lake, they release sudden amount of water. It can bring disasters. So creation of glacial lake is not a good sign. It can lead to disasters like this. That is what this article talks about. Okay. So have you received this PPT? Have you received this presentation? It has been forwarded to you? Okay. So go through these articles. You can search them on internet and you can go through them. Worst affected by glacier melting would be animals like this. Animals like polar bear, animals like penguin. We have studied about tundra biome, and in that you have written that polar bear and penguins are major species. So that means glaciers are their home. They live in snow-covered region. They live in cold region. If glaciers melt, their home would be destroyed. And these species, what will happen to them? These species will become extinct. They will also die. So this is another problem that you list in your answers. Extinction of species which live in snow-covered region. Clear till this point? Okay. So we will see a problem which is related to it. Sea level rise. So what we have discussed so far, if glaciers melt, it will increase sea level. If glaciers melt, water will increase the sea level. But yesterday also we have discussed that if oceans become warm nearby equator, if ocean becomes warm, water will expand. So glacier is melting, water is coming into ocean, water is also expanding. So both of them are happening at the same time. And both of them together will result into increase in sea level. Now it is an alarming sign right now. Alarming sign because most of our coastal areas are facing this threat. They are facing the threat of submergence. Look at this example. Recent article. Glacial lakes multiply in Himachal and Tibet. All over Himalayas. These glacial lakes, their size is increasing. So glacial lakes possess a threat for what? For human life. Because these glacial lakes can release large amount of water and bring floods. Floods in hilly region. So just imagine there is a glacial lake. These glacial lakes hold a large amount of water. They are not like normal lakes that you see, other water bodies that you see. These glacial lakes, they have large amount of water. They can hold large volume of water. And if they release large amount of water, this would be a sudden release. And that sudden release will happen in a hilly region where there is a slope. So water will flow with a very great velocity. And that water will bring destruction wherever it will go. So these glacial lakes, they are a very big threat to human habitations there or any other infrastructures. So this is what scientists says, that in future the coastline will change. Most of our coastlines would be submerged because of the sea level rise which is happening all around the world. So if coastlines are submerged, coastal areas are submerged, that means the human habitation that you see here, they have to be displaced. They have to be relocated somewhere else. Otherwise, where these people will go? So they have to leave their home, they have to leave all their work which they were doing, and they have to shift somewhere else. This is the threat, and this is the real-time threat that coastal areas of India are facing. Any coastal city that you see of India, not of India, of world, they are facing this threat. Large scale displacement of human population will happen in future. because coastal areas would be submerged. The rate at which the water level is increasing. Clear on this? So this is your assignment that I have given you. I have given you the overview of the topic, that what is the problem of sea level rise and what is the problem of glacier melting related to global warming. Okay. So this completes our topic of the impacts of climate change. What impacts are there? What problems you see all around the world? Clear on the impacts? Okay. Now come to point number 7. There are some definitions given. Definitions which come in your newspapers, definitions which comes in your current affairs. So let's get familiar with these definitions. First is ecological footprint. So in one line, if we have to define what is ecological footprint, ecological footprint is resources needed for daily needs. How much resources you are consuming for in your day-to-day life. How much resources you need for your day-to-day life is your ecological footprint. Now you are coming here by your own vehicle. Your friend is coming here by public transport. You both are doing the same thing, but your energy consumption is different. You are coming by your private vehicle, you are consuming more resources. Your friend is coming by a public transport, your friend is consuming less resources. So how much resources you need in day-to-day life to complete your requirement? That is your ecological footprint. You're coming here for this 3-hour class. In this 3-hour class, how much time the ACs were on? How much electricity was consumed? The paper that was given to you, is it recyclable? Is it printed on both the sides? How much papers you are consuming? You're coming by your own vehicles, how much fuel you are consuming? So that means for this 3-hour class, you are consuming natural resources. So that would be the ecological footprint of this class. How much resources you need for a 3-hour class? So in simple word, what you can understand, what is ecological footprint? How many resources you need for your day-to-day life? How much resources you are consuming for your own requirements? Okay. Read this definition, ecological footprint. Point number A. So ecological footprint is amount of resources you need for your day-to-day life. We will understand the second definition which comes in your newspapers and current affairs, ecological debt. What is ecological debt? Suppose for a complete year, for 12 months, natural resources are available. That for coming 12 months, for coming year, whatever your needs are, natural resources are given to you, that you have to take care of your needs by these resources. Let's say you come to Hyderabad from some other city and you are about to live here for 1 year. So for next 1 year, money is given to you that whatever your needs are, we are giving you the amount for next 1 year. And you have to take care of your needs for the next year by this amount. So resources has been provided to you that whatever your needs would be for next year, you have to take care of your needs by the help of this amount. Now what will happen, that the amount that has been given to you ends in 10 months. You have to take care of needs. Let's say the amount is being provided for 12 months. Money is being given to you that you have to take care of your needs for next 12 months by the money that has been given to you. But this money ends before time. It ends in 10 months only. Now what you will do? You are supposed to take care of your needs for 12 months, but your money has ended in 10 months. Still 2 months are remaining and you don't have resources left. So what will you do? For remaining 2 months, you will borrow. You will borrow from someone else. You will ask for help. So in these 2 months, you will go into debt. You will be entering debt because you are using resources which belongs to someone else. Your resources have ended. You are borrowing. You are using resources which belongs to someone else. You are in debt. Just apply the same logic on nature. For 12 months, if natural resources are provided to you, whatever your needs are, whatever your demands are, you have to take care of your needs by these resources only. What will happen if you consume the resources before time? If your resources are over before time, let's say you are consuming them in 10 months, these natural resources, still time is left. So resources were supposed to be utilized for 1 year, you consume them before 12 months. So what will you do in remaining 2 months? You will consume the resources which are meant for coming generations, which are meant for future, because you have consumed your resources. Now you are using resources which belongs to coming generations. That means you will exploit. You will exploit more and more resources. You are putting a burden on nature. So in this remaining time, what will happen? You will enter into which debt? Ecological debt. So it's an awareness concept to make people aware of their actions, how much burden they are putting on nature. You are consuming your resources, you are utilizing resources which belongs to someone else. Resources are limited on earth. One day they will end. If you keep doing this, one day all the resources will end. So that means try to reduce the wastage. Try to reduce the overconsumption. Keep your usage optimum. Otherwise resources will end one day and there would be no resources left on earth. So this concept is used to create awareness among common people. Ecological debt. The day when your ecological debt starts, resources are available for 12 months, you consume it before 12 months. So the day when your debt starts, this day is observed as what you call this day? Earth Overshoot Day. So the day when you enter ecological debt is observed as Earth Overshoot Day. For example, last year, Earth Overshoot Day was this. 2nd August 2024 was Earth Overshoot Day. What it means? It means by this day, we have consumed the resources which were meant for complete year. So the resources that you should have been utilizing for 12 months, you consume them in within 7 months. So what you did for remaining 5 months, you exploited. You consume the resources which were meant for future. So what it shows you? It shows you that your lifestyle is putting a burden on nature. You are not using the resources, you are exploiting the resources. Too much burden from human population. Whatever resources are meant for a year are being consumed in 7 months only. Are you clear on this? These two concepts, ecological debt and Earth Overshoot Day. Read about it. Read the point number B. See, that amount is a rough assumption or an estimation. You have to consider what natural resources you use. You use food from ocean, forest, grasslands, water, they provide you different resources. So it is estimated that in a year, how much resources Earth can generate can be calculated. And then you see what is the population, human population, in that particular year. So how much resources that population will consume. So you make an estimate that at what time this population will completely consume the resources. So that is how you come on this date. Okay, this date is the Earth Overshoot Day. Read point number B. Okay, so are you clear on these three definitions? Ecological footprint, ecological debt, and Earth Overshoot Day. They all are related to environment awareness. Okay. So we'll move to second part of climate change discussion. And now in the second part, we will talk about organizations. Organizations which are working in the field of climate change. So in climate change, part 2, we will focus or we will discuss about organizations, because in your prelims there are questions related to organization. So it will give you an idea how to prepare the organizations for prelims. Okay. So consider this as a practice thing, that what information you need to take out from your current affairs whenever there is an organization in news, how you should filter out the information. So we will do this with organizations working in the field of climate change. So from where you should start? You should start from Earth Summit. Earth Summit took place in 1992. But why? Suddenly, what happened in 1992 that Earth Summit was organized? Rio Summit, Earth Summit was organized. It was a very big conference. Discussions were done related to environment. Why Earth Summit was organized? Because in 1987, a commission Brundtland Commission. Brundtland Commission was made by United Nations. So what they did in 1987, Brundtland Commission published a report. The name of the report was Our Common Future. Our Common Future is the report which talked about environment conservation. It was a very detailed report published by United Nations. So in 1987, this report was released by Brundtland Commission. But just releasing a report will not work. You have to implement the report also. Hence, to implement this report, Our Common Future, Earth Summit was organized by United Nations. It was a very big summit, continued for 10 days. India also participated in that. So this conference changed international politics a lot. Because after this summit, environment became an important part of discussion in international politics. Countries started to discuss environment. Countries started to discuss conservation of forest and biodiversity. So this conference changed so many things in international politics. Before this, there were agreements, there were conferences, but not this big. This was a very big event in the field of environment. So why this conference happened? This conference happened because United Nations wanted to implement which report? Our Common Future. Who published this report? Brundtland Commission. So when you read this paragraph number 1, this is about Earth Summit. Okay. First 2-3 paragraphs that you read, this is about Earth Summit. Go through them, and in this Earth Summit, 5 agreements were signed. 5 agreements were signed. The name of those 5 agreements are also written. Just give it a reading. Read till point number 2. Okay. This point number 1 has 4-5 paragraphs. Read all of them. Read about all the 5 agreements. Sorry? Should we? The agreements. Yes, you should be. Yeah. Hmm. That 21? No, no, no. Don't have to do that. Just understand what is the purpose of Agenda 21. Okay, so when you are looking at agreements, look at agreement number 4, Framework Convention on Climate Change. Framework Convention on Climate Change. Presently, it is known as UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. This is the present name. So UNFCCC is the biggest organization of the world working in the field of climate change. So whenever there is an article or current affairs which you are reading, you will find the name of this organization because they are the biggest organization working in the field of climate change. So now you know their history. UNFCCC, topmost organization of the world. When UNFCCC came into existence, in which conference? Earth Summit. So UNFCCC came into existence in Earth Summit. Why Earth Summit was organized? To implement our common future. So they all are linked. So from this point, you should start reading about organizations. Brundtland's report, summit, and the existence of this UNFCCC. It came into existence. Topmost organization of the world, they are responsible for organizing conferences. Whenever there is an international conference, that means it is organized by UNFCCC. India is also a member of UNFCCC. India also participate in conferences. Then is Agenda 21. What is the purpose of Agenda 21? What do you understood? Achieving sustainable development in 21st century. Highlight that. That is the purpose of Agenda 21. So from this point, we begin our discussion on organizations. UNFCCC, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, world's biggest organization working in the field of climate change. UNFCCC has a simple goal. It has a simple goal, straightforward goal. Bring down emission of greenhouse gases. Reduce the emission of greenhouse gases. Why? What greenhouse gases can do? Global warming. You bring down their emission, global warming will come down. You can control the climate change. So they have a straightforward goal: reduce the emission of greenhouse gases. By this, we can control climate change. UNFCCC, the agreement was signed in 1992. Agreement came into force in 1994. Okay. Point number 2, read first 3 lines. First 3 lines only. Till 1994. Read that. Okay, so UNFCCC came into force in 1994. So why there is a gap of 2 years? Why it took 2 years to come into force? See, there are 2 processes. First, signing a document. Second is ratifying a document. Both of these processes are involved with international agreements. Suppose there is an international conference taking place. India will send its representative. Maybe a bureaucrat, maybe a minister. That person will go in the conference, will represent India. So if India is sending a representative and India agrees to the terms, our representative will sign the document that we agree to this agreement, we are ready for this agreement, and we will follow the terms. So the representative that you have sent has signed the document. It is a different thing. You cannot implement the same agreement in the country just because your representative have signed. So if your representative have signed the document and you want to implement the document in the country, that means you have to ratify the document. Who ratifies in India international agreements? Sorry? Parliament. Both Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha? President? Prime Minister? Who do this? Ratification is done by cabinet. Do remember this, that ratification of international agreements in India is done by cabinet, not by parliament. Every country has their own process. In India, it is done by cabinet. So until unless the ratification is done, we cannot implement the agreement in a country. So ratification is needed. Signing is different thing, ratification is different thing. Ratification in India is done by cabinet. Ratification of international agreement is done by cabinet. Now come to your printout from line number 4. UNFCCC rules which were discussed in Earth Summit. What were these rules? UNFCCC will come into force only when? What does rule number 1 says? At least 55 countries should ratify. Okay, so this is rule number 1. If UNFCCC has to come into force, how many countries should ratify? 55. Now you know what is ratification. Every country has their own process. So at least 55 should ratify. Second, those who have ratified, their cumulative emission should be greater than 55% of the world. Now what this rule means? This rule means, suppose 70 countries have ratified. 70 have ratified. So your rule number 1 is complete. What you will do? You will add greenhouse gas emission of all the 70 countries. If 70 countries have ratified, you will add greenhouse gas emissions done by those 70 countries. And that emission should be more than 55% of the world. 55% of total emissions of the world. Then only your rule number 2 would be completed. Are you clear on this? Read both the rules by yourself. Why we are discussing the rules of 1992? Because these rules are still being discussed. Whenever you have a new agreement related to climate change, these rules are implemented. That is why you are discussing them. They are still applicable in present in most of your climate agreements, climate change agreements. So minimum, how many countries should ratify? 55. Those who have ratified, their total emission should be greater than 55% of the world. So that is why there is a gap of 2 years. Why UNFCCC took 2 years to come into force? Because these rules took 2 years to be fulfilled. That is why there is a gap of 2 years. Okay. So UNFCCC became an organization in 1994. It came into force in 1994. When UNFCCC became an organization, with the very next year, 1995, what they did, they started doing their meetings. COP is the name of their meetings, annual conferences. So they became an organization in 1994. Very next year, they started their annual meetings. So COP1 took place in 1995 in Berlin. This was the first conference. Every year there is a conference. Every year meeting happens. We'll discuss about that. But look at your printout first. UNFCCC contains 2 annexes. Look in your printout. UNFCCC contains 2 annexes. Now what it means? It means UNFCCC divides the countries into 2 lists. Annex 1 country, Annex 2 country. Okay. Whoever is the member of UNFCCC will be categorized into lists. So UNFCCC has annexes. Annex 1 country, Annex 2 country. Just give it a reading and try to understand what is a Annex 1 country and what is a Annex 2 country. Read this. Okay. So if you have gone through this, what you can understand, rules are more strict for Annex 1 or Annex 2. Annex 2 has more burden because they have to reduce their GHG emission and they have to help others also. So there is more burden on Annex 2. See, Annex 1 and Annex 2 countries are developed countries, both of them. Developed. rich countries who can afford to reduce their emissions. They both are rich and developed countries. So right in front of them, Annex 1, Annex 2, right in front of them, developed countries. In the printout itself, developed countries having strong economic conditions, having strong economy. Okay. So understand this. If there is a rich country and you ask that rich country to reduce their GHG emission, they can afford it because their economy is strong. You cannot say the same thing to a developing country, let's say India. You ask India to reduce GHG emission, India will reduce GHG emission. That means industrialization has to be stopped in India. Industrial growth has to be controlled in India. So if you control industrial growth in India, how will you generate employment? How people will get income? How people will get livelihood? India's GDP will suffer. India's economy will suffer. So India cannot afford heavy reduction in GHG emissions because India has to support a large population. Rich countries can afford because their economy is already very strong. They can look for alternatives. They can invest in finding alternatives to GHG. India cannot do this at present. So that is why you see this rule. Rules are strict for developed countries. Annex 1, Annex 2. What is written? Annex 1, Annex 2. They are developed countries. They are supposed to reduce their GHG emission. India is not an annex country because India is not a developed country. India is a non-annex country. Okay. So write down here itself, non-annex country. Non-annex country. Countries with poor economy which are not supposed to bring heavy reductions in GHG emission. Heavy reductions in GHG emission. So that means there are two types of countries according to UNFCCC. Annex country, non-annex country. Annex countries, rich countries, developed countries. Non-annex countries, poor country, developing country. Annex country should reduce GHG emission. Non-annex country, it's not binding. It's up to them whether they want to reduce or not. So come back to this. Yeah. This is purely based on their economic condition and how much GHG emission they have done in the past. Okay. So come back to this. UNFCCC started COP. This is their annual meetings. So COP first took place in Berlin. So point number 3 is list of important COP. Write down the full form of COP here. COP, Conference of Parties. Conference of Parties. Conference of Parties. Read the first two lines. What is a COP? First two lines. It's an annual event. It's a meeting. Every year this happens. Write this down when COP first happened. It's not mentioned. Write COP1, 1995, Berlin. So next year would be which COP? This would be in Brazil. No, see, in that lockdown year, COP was not held. So that was the only one blank year, you see. So the COP of 2024 took place in Azerbaijan. That means this COP of 2024, which is COP number 29, happened before your exam, before your prelims. So that means you should read about it because it is the meeting of most important organization in the field of climate change. India also participated. So at least you should know some facts about COP29. We'll discuss that in the class. What are the major points you can take from COP29 for exam point of view? We'll see that later. But this will happen next year after your mains. After your mains, this will happen. So that means for your exam point of view, this is the COP that you have to study. COP29, both for prelims and for mains. So we'll see that what discussions were done. But come to this list, which is given in your printout. List of important COP is given. What discussions happened previously. So look at this list. First is COP3. What was the year? Which place? Kyoto. Read this. Why it is important? Read this. Kyoto Protocol came into existence. That is why it is important. Kyoto Protocol was signed. We will read about Kyoto Protocol. Second, COP7 year is 2001. What is the place? Marrakesh. Read about it. Why it is important. Rules related to Kyoto Protocol were made. What you call these rules? What is the name of these rules? Marrakesh Accords. Underline that. If it comes in MCQ, what is Marrakesh Accords? So you will be able to identify. Marrakesh Accords are the rules of Kyoto Protocol. Next is COP11. Year is 2005. Place is Montreal in Canada. Just make a change. Here it is written Kyoto Protocol came into existence. No, write down Kyoto Protocol came into force. Kyoto Protocol came into force. Okay. Now see the year 1997 again. Kyoto Protocol came into existence. Now see the year 2005. Kyoto Protocol came into force. So why there is a gap of 8 years? Two rules you studied. So those two rules were applicable here also. How many countries should ratify? Those who have ratified, their emission should be greater than 55 of the world. So the rules took 8 years to complete. So that is why it came into force after 8 years. Next, COP16 2010, place is Cancun, Mexico. Why it is important? Green Climate Fund was established. Okay. Then comes COP18 2012, place is Doha. Read this. Complete this list. Complete this list. We will see this separately because next topic is your Kyoto Protocol. So we will see what is first commitment, second commitment. Done with the list? So we will study COP29 separately. What were the points which were discussed in the latest COP? We will do that after we are done with the theory portion. We'll do that. Okay. So what you're looking at different topics related to climate change for your exam point of view. Now in exams, especially in your mains, if the question is asked related to climate change, so when they are asking a question related to climate change, they expect you to answer it accordingly. Answer it accordingly by having a belief that climate change is real, climate change is happening. So they expect an answer on that line. Now you are of that belief that climate change is not real, climate change is not happening. Most of the people, they have this view. So for your answer writing, don't use that view. If you are of this belief that climate change is not real, climate change is something concept created by some of the scientists to create fear or to increase the profitability of the company, there is a view among a big population. So if you are of that view, don't use that view in your answer writing, because the exam that you are appearing for, that examination body, they believe climate change is real, they expect answer accordingly. Now, when you are writing answers, if they are asking you climate change and your answer is reflecting that no, climate change is not real, this is not happening, that is not happening, because you believe that. First of all, no one cares what you believe in. No one is affected by that. Second, the exam that you are appearing for, the examiner, they expect an answer according to that. So if you are of that belief, at least for that point, when you are writing an answer in your mains, keep your beliefs little bit aside and write an answer which they expect, which they are believing in, if you have to get marks. Okay. We'll continue after break then. Take your seats. We'll resume now. Move to point number 4. Page number 13, point number 4. Kyoto Protocol. Kyoto Protocol works on an objective. Kyoto Protocol has an objective to reduce GHG emissions, to bring down GHG emissions all over the world. This is why Kyoto Protocol was made. You have studied its history. Kyoto Protocol was signed. Which year it was signed? 1997. Which year it came into force? This is what you have read just now. It was signed in 97, came into force in 2005. So when Kyoto Protocol came into force, its first commitment period was from 2008 to 2012. This was the first time Kyoto Protocol was implemented. First period of Kyoto Protocol. These 5 years, Kyoto Protocol was implemented. So during these 5 years, it was observed that greenhouse gas emission came down. Greenhouse gas emission all over the world came down. This was the result of this first period, that countries actually reduced their greenhouse gas emissions. So it was considered as a success. that this first commitment period was a success. Because countries reduced their greenhouse gas emission. So it is believed to be a success. So when this commitment period got over, UNFCCC extended it. UNFCCC extended and brought second period. First was successful, so UNFCCC extended it to the second period. Read this COP number 18 again. COP number 18, read that again. When was the second period? 2012 to 2020. UNFCCC extended it. That we will continue with Kyoto Protocol for 8 more years. But what happened in this? Turn the page, come to page number 14 first. Okay. What happened in this? Page number 14, I'm reading from the start. After looking at the success of first commitment period, Kyoto Protocol was extended for 8 years, but with following conditions. So rules were changed that time. Second commitment period of Kyoto Protocol will come into force only when? What is rule number 1? 144 countries should ratify. Earlier the number was, now the number is 144. Second rule is same. No change in the second rule. So in reality what happened? Countries never ratified it. Okay. Ratification got complete in October 2020, it came into force. What is the timeline? When it came into force? So how much time is remaining? 2 or 3 months. So what you will do in 2 months? Nothing. So that is why this second period was a failure. So first period was success, but second period failed. Because countries never ratified it. They were not ready to follow Kyoto Protocol. So right here itself, the space which is given, right here itself, second period came into force. Second period came into force in October 2020. Very less time was there for implementation. Very less time was there for implementation. And it was a failure. Okay. So second commitment period failed. Now read COP21 again. Read this COP21 year 2015. Read that again. What this COP talks about? Paris Agreement. Paris Agreement which would be applicable from 2020. Paris Agreement would be applicable after 2020. Why? Why after 2020? Because Kyoto Protocol ended in 2020. So Kyoto Protocol ended, new rules were formed. So what are these rules? Paris Agreement. So that is why when you prepare current affairs, when you read current affairs, every time this news comes, India following Paris Agreement, according to Paris Agreement, rules of Paris Agreement. So why this Paris Agreement comes again in your current affairs? Because these are the rules that we follow at present. These are the rules which are being followed. So that is why it comes in your news again and again. Are you clear on this? Clear on the flow chart? This timeline? Kyoto Protocol ended in 2020. Paris Agreement became applicable after 2020. Okay. Now come back to page number 13 again, Kyoto Protocol. Kyoto Protocol works on a principle. Kyoto Protocol has a principle. Its name is CBDR. The full form of CBDR is given in second paragraph. What is the full form? Common but differentiated responsibility. What it means? Common but differentiated responsibility means that the common responsibility of the world is to reduce GHG emission. This is the responsibility of everyone. Reduce GHG emission, common. But differentiated also, because some countries are rich, some countries are poor. Rich countries can afford, poor countries cannot. So rules will be strict for rich countries. Rules will be strict for rich countries. They have to reduce more emission. Rules would be little bit easy for poor countries. Common but differentiated. You have gone through annex countries, annex and non-annex. Can you see the differentiation? For someone, rules were strict. For someone, rules were relaxed. So Kyoto Protocol works on this principle, CBDR, common but differentiated responsibilities. Now, read this completely. Point number 4, give it a reading. Complete this, point number 4. Same 55. Paris Agreement was also 55 countries, 55% of emission. US never ratified it. US signed it, never ratified it. Their parliament never ratified. So it was very easy for them to backtrack. Obama signed it, but that time never ratified it. So Trump came into power first time, he said that I will backtrack from Paris Agreement. So now they did this. Okay. Okay. So Kyoto Protocol ended in which year? 2020. And from 2020, which agreement? Paris Agreement. So this is about the history behind Kyoto Protocol. Kyoto Protocol is not there, but some of its rules are still followed. We'll discuss about those rules. Paris Agreement has already come into force. Already. In 2016 it came. It already is into force. Within signing, Paris Agreement came into force within a year. Within a year. Paris Agreement is applicable. It's in force. So point number 5, a table is given. Difference between GCF and GEF. What you are doing at right now, you are studying about organizations. Organizations related to climate change. So the name of two organizations is given and a table is given, difference is written. But what are these two organizations? See, GCF and GEF are funding organizations. They provide loan. They provide financial help. Loan to whom? To poor countries, to developing countries. For what? For environment conservation. Write down here itself. These two are funding organizations. These two are funding organizations which provide financial help, to poor, and developing countries, which provide financial help to poor and developing countries for implementing projects related to environment conservation. Projects related to environment conservation. So the organizations which you are looking at, they are two of the world's biggest organization in the field of environment, which provide financial help to countries. India has also taken help from them time and time. GEF, write the full form, GEF, Global Environment Facility. Global Environment Facility. Write down the full form of GCF. Green Climate Fund. Green Climate Fund. So these two are the biggest organizations in the field of environment. The difference between them is given. Look at GCF. GCF was established by UNFCCC. UNFCCC has established it. In which year? 2010. GEF was established by World Bank, UNDP and United Nations Development Program, United Nations Environment Program. UNDP, United Nations Development Program, UNEP, United Nations Environment Program. In which year it was established? So if you compare both of them, which one is more old? GEF is old. Okay. Second, headquarter of GCF, which country? Sangdo, South Korea. And GEF, it's in Washington. Just near the headquarter of World Bank, there is a headquarter of GEF. It's close to the headquarter of World Bank. Now the third difference, which is a bit important, GCF gives funding only under or only to the projects related to UNFCCC. What it means? GCF will provide funding only for projects related to climate change. Okay, if there is a project related to climate change, then only GCF will provide funding. This is what it means. Gives funding only in projects related to UNFCCC. So right here itself, projects related to climate change. Okay, and GEF, in how many conventions it give? 5. Write the name of these 5 conventions here. Under which GEF provides funding, write the name here itself. Okay. Written the name of these 5. So it means a poor country can go to GEF, and if they want to implement any of them, they can take financial help from GEF. For example, if India wants to implement a project on biodiversity, India wants to conserve the biodiversity, and India does not have financial resources, India can take loan from GEF. India wants to have a project to control desertification, and India does not have resources. So India can take loan from them. Okay. So they provide money under 5 agreements. GCF will give money only in projects related to climate change. So these are 2 funding organizations, international funding organizations that we are looking at. Now come to next organization, point number 6, IPCC. What is the full form of IPCC? Panel on Climate Change. Look here. IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, comes under UN. It comes under UN. UNFCCC, United Nations Framework on Climate Change, also comes under UN. So in UN, there are two organizations, both are working in the field of climate change. Under UN, there are two international organizations who are specifically for climate change. You know about them. What is role of UNFCCC? To organize COP, to make policies. This is what their role is. To organize meetings, to make policies. But what IPCC do? IPCC is not a policy making organization. They conduct research. They conduct studies related to climate change. This is what they do. They carry out research with respect to climate change. So they both are different. They make policies, they conduct research, they conduct studies. Both of them work under United Nations. Now IPCC's research is majorly based on future forecasting. This is what they do. They tell you about the future. So from their research, from their studies, what they will tell? They will tell you what will happen after 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Future forecasting they do. And they are very accurate in this. So far, whatever predictions they have made, it has come true. If IPCC is saying something that this will happen after 5 years, 10 years, so there is a very high chance that it will happen. Because whatever predictions they have made in last 30 years, they have come true. Most of them have come true. So they are very accurate in predicting the future. So if they are saying something, it has to be taken seriously. So how they can predict the future so accurately? What is the reason behind their accuracy? See, IPCC, when they conduct research, when they publish their report, first of all, their report takes minimum 5 years to be completed. This is the minimum timeline. You can see this is report number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See the gap between these reports. It is not that they are deliberately taking this time. They are conducting research at least for 5 years. So minimum gap between their report is 5 years. So you can understand how much effort they are putting. They are conducting their studies at least for 5 years. If you look at all the leading scientists of the world, in the field of climate change, those scientists, they work for them, either directly, either indirectly. So they have got the best human resources of the world, best brains of the world in the field of climate change. That is why they are that accurate. And when they conduct their research, their report is not published in a single go. They conduct their research, they come to the outcome, and then they revise it. They edit it again and again to see whether they are accurate or not. So multiple editing, multiple drafting, multiple trials are done. They use supercomputers for that also. All the modern technologies. That is the reason behind their accuracy. The accuracy is because of the effort they put. You can see how much time they take to make one report. So the latest report that is available to us, report number 6, their report is known as AR. AR stands for Assessment Report. So Assessment Report 6 came in the year 2022, 3 years back. See the gap. How much time they took? 9 years to complete this report. So you can understand how much effort they put. That is why they are accurate. So if they are saying something that this will happen in future, so there is a very high chance that it will happen in future. Read about IPCC, para number 6. Which year IPCC received Peace Prize? Along with Al Gore, US Vice President. Both of them have received the Peace Prize for climate change. So if you look at this report, IPCC's latest report that is available with us, IPCC's report, which came in 2022, what it says, it makes certain prediction. First of all, it confirms that climate change is happening. It is a real event. See, these facts, you can write it in your answer writing. That is why I have given them. That if you're doing some essay, writing answers, just quote IPCC's report according to IPCC's, according to AR6. Quote them as it is. It will increase the credibility of your answer because you are quoting a resource which is very well renowned all over the world. So you can use these statements in your answers. First of all, IPCC confirms that yes, climate change is real, and second, it is caused by man-made activities, human-caused climate change. That is what this report talks about. Second, it says that global temperature has already increased. That Earth's temperature has already increased by 1.1 degrees Celsius. When we are talking to control global warming, but it has already happened, and it is even more increasing. So Earth's temperature has already increased. As compared to pre-industrial level, as compared to 1950s, that time when industrialization was not much. CO2 concentration is highest in last 2 million years. If we look at history of Earth's atmosphere, right now this is the highest concentration of CO2 we are looking at. These are the problems happening all over the world: rising sea levels, extreme weather conditions, heat waves, and the loss of biodiversity. This report says that if we have to control global warming, if we have to tackle climate change, this is the only solution in front of us. The usage of fossil fuels must be reduced at least by 60%, more than 50%. By which year? By the year 2050. By the year 2050. And then what it says about India, it says India is one of the most vulnerable country. India is facing one of the biggest threats of climate change. Whether it is glacier melting, whether it is sea level rise, whether it is cyclones, any problem that you associate, India is facing it. Even heat waves. So India is considered one of the most vulnerable countries. And this is the result that this report says. World is not on track for what? To meet 1.5 degrees Celsius target. Now what is this target? 1.5 degrees Celsius target. This is the target of Paris Agreement. What this target says? This target says that Earth's temperature should not increase beyond 1.5 degrees Celsius. That if global warming has to happen, how much we can manage? We can manage the increase of 1.5 degrees Celsius. So Paris Agreement says that Earth's temperature can increase by, we should try to limit global warming up to this level. Whatever was the temperature in 1950, it should increase up to 1.5 degrees Celsius only. If we go beyond this, then there would be so many problems. What it says, what the report says, world is not on track. That means global warming will go beyond this. Earth's temperature will increase more than 1.5 degrees Celsius. And there would be so many problems that you will see related to climate change. So this report presents an alarming image. What is happening at present and what can be the future scenario. So this PPT would be forwarded to you. Just go through these points by yourself. Are you clear on this report, IPCCs? Have you received this PPT? Has it been forwarded to you? Okay, so it would be forwarded to you today. Which current affair magazine you have right now? Which is the latest magazine you have? December one you have. So if you have that magazine, when we will complete this theory section, we will study that current affairs magazine environment section line by line, so that you can understand how to prepare current affairs for your prelims. What to read, what to skip, how to read between the lines. Okay. Because when you read those current affairs, that current affairs is the carries maximum weightage in your prelims. But that can only be done once you are done with the theory. So if you have got that magazine, bring that in the class. Once we are done with this theory, we'll do that current affair magazines. If you have not got that magazine, please take that from the management, and it is the magazine that we'll be referring to. Coming back to this. This is what we have discussed about IPCC. So the next topic is about India. We will talk about India's organizations. What organizations are there in India? The very first organization that we will discuss is Prime Minister Council on Climate Change. So from the name itself, it is clear that this comes under chairmanship of Prime Minister. So Prime Minister is the chairman itself, and this organization is the most important organization of India working in the field of climate change. PM Council on Climate Change. What they do? They make policies. They allocate budget to states and UTs for what? For climate change projects. Without their approval, state government cannot move forward. If any state government wants to have a project or plan related to climate change, it should be approved from them. Then only state can continue with their work. So you can understand they have got power, they have got authority to take decision. PM Council has total of 18 members. Total 18 members are there. Out of those 18, 13 come from government. 5 come from private sector. Those who are from government, who are they? Cabinet ministers plus some bureaucrats, senior bureaucrats, secretary level bureaucrats, chief secretary level bureaucrats, sorry. And private can be from a NGO, can be from academics, or can be a scientist. Okay. These 5 persons are selected by Prime Minister on the recommendations. Criteria is that these 5 coming from private sector should have done something significant related to environment. Either their education is in environment, or either they have done something significant with respect to environment. So those 5 members are taken into this council. 13 plus 5. 13 from government, 5 from private sector. So it consists of 18 members. Now, why these cabinet ministers and IAS officers are included here? Because they are responsible for what? Decision making. So if you are having all the cabinet ministers at the same place, what it will help in? It will help in quick decision making. Rapid decision making can occur. And that is the purpose of this council, rapid decisions. It can only be done when you invite all the decision makers. So this is topmost organization of India with respect to climate change. Read about them. Done with this? Let's see something else about our country. NAPCC. Write its full form. Write its full form. National Action Plan. National Action Plan on Climate Change. National Action Plan on Climate Change. So National Action Plan on Climate Change came into existence in 2008. This is India's first action plan. This is the first ever action plan of India. Before this, there was no action plan in India. Even climate change was not taken seriously in India. In 2008, India came up with a very detailed and comprehensive action plan. So you can see from the name itself, National Action Plan on Climate Change. So what it tells you, India wants to tackle climate change. So how India can tackle? India has 8 missions in it. 8 different missions. These 8 missions are part of our action plan. Write their objective here itself or make a separate note. Write down 8 missions of NAPCC. 8 missions of NAPCC. Eight missions of NAPCC. Write down first. National Solar Mission. Write down. National Solar Mission. To increase solar production. To increase solar production. And have a capacity of 300 gigawatt and have a capacity of 300 gigawatt by 2030. Have a capacity of 300 gigawatt by 2030. So this is India's target. How much solar energy we want to manufacture? 300 gigawatt. It's a very big number. By which year? 2030. Write down second. National mission on sustainable habitat. National mission on sustainable habitat. What is habitat? Living place. So this mission is about improving India's cities. Okay, right now. Related to urban planning. Related to urban planning and making. Related to urban planning and making India's cities more livable. India's cities more livable. National mission for sustaining Himalayan ecosystem. National mission for sustaining Himalayan ecosystem. Write down. Applicable only to states. Applicable only to states where Himalayas and Purvanchal hills are present. Objective is to conserve. Himalayas. Objective is to conserve Himalayas and to sustain livelihood of the communities living in Himalayas. Third. Write down the fourth one. National mission for enhanced energy efficiency. National mission for enhanced energy efficiency. To control wastage of electricity. And promote manufacturing of energy efficient products. Okay. So this fourth mission is about controlling the wastage of electricity and promoting energy efficient products like LED. So LED bulbs, government give you subsidy on that. Why government is giving you subsidy on LED bulbs? So that you can use them. Because LED bulbs consume less electricity. They are more efficient. So government is promoting the usage and manufacturing of LED bulbs. There is a scheme for that also. Ujala scheme. Ujala scheme is specifically for LED. From where the idea for Ujala came? It came from this mission, that we want to improve efficiency of our country. Wastage is too much. We want to control the wastage. Mission number 5, National Water Mission. National Water Mission. National Water Mission objective is to increase the efficiency of water usage, increase the efficiency of water usage, comma, conserve and collect rainwater, conserve and collect rainwater, and to protect wetlands, So this mission is about conserving our water bodies, wetlands. Okay. What is happening in this mission? Mission Kakte? Ponds and lakes are reworked. Why? To conserve rainwater. Okay. See, Mission Kakte is the initiative of Telangana government. Kaktes were the rulers under which water harvesting was done. So during that time, there was no shortage of water. So the government has taken inspiration from them and they have started constructing water harvesting structure. The logic is simple: collect rainwater. So if you collect rainwater, how you can collect rainwater? Step wells, ponds, lakes, tanks. You have traditional structures. So first, to repair them. If there is a damage, repair them. And at some places, construct new ones. So by this, we can collect more and more rainwater. So this mission is about that, collecting rainwater. Collecting rainwater can solve so many problems, so many social problems it can solve. It is not a scientific exercise. What was happening 1,000 years ago, you can do this right now also. No scientific, no rocket science. Just collect rainwater. So read about this mission, write it as your homework. Read about Mission Kakte. And also read about this person. Read about Rajendra Singh also. He's known as Waterman of India. He's known as Waterman of India. So read about both of them. You will understand the importance of collecting rainwater. Then mission number 6, National Mission on Strategic Knowledge. National Mission on Strategic Knowledge for Climate Change. Strategic Knowledge for Climate Change. Write down. To improve and promote research, in the field of climate change. Mission number 7, National Mission for Green India. National Mission for Green India. Write down. Objective is to plant trees. Objective is to plant trees in 10 million hectares. 10 million hectares. Objective is to plant trees in 10 million hectares. Last, mission number 8, National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture. National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture. Write down. To prepare India's agriculture, against any threat related to climate change. So these are our 8 missions. Now read about NAPCC, paragraph number 8, page number 14. Read about it. Okay then, some climate change recent schemes we will discuss, or recent initiatives that are given here in the PPT. You need not to copy. This would be forwarded to you. So let's see some of the initiatives related to India. First is National Adaptation Fund. National Adaptation Fund for Climate Change. Now, what is adaptation? Why we have a separate fund for it? National Adaptation Fund. So first of all, you should understand the meaning of this adaptation. See, there are 2 things that you can do to tackle climate change. There are 2 things that you can do. Climate change strategy are of 2 types. Mitigation and adaptation. This is what you can do to control climate change. Either you can do mitigation, either you can do adaptation. But there is a difference between both of them. Mitigation is related to present. Adaptation is related to future. How? In mitigation, you focus at present. What you will do today? What will be the result today? So in mitigation, your objective is to reduce GHG emissions in present. Okay? GHG emissions in present. So what you do? Let's say you have put, or you have increased the production of renewable energy. You are producing more and more renewable energy. So that you are doing at present. So renewable energy production you increase. What will happen? Greenhouse gas emission will come down. So this is your mitigation strategy. You are focusing at present. You are bringing down the GHG emission at present. This is mitigation. Adaptation is for future. Adaptation when you want to adjust. You want to adjust in future. You believe that climate change will happen in future. So what you will do in future? If temperature will rise, there will be shortage of water. What you will do? You will try to adjust. You will try to accommodate, adapt. Adaptation is your future. You want to adjust. So looking at future, what you will do? Just an example I am giving. There can be many examples. Just an example. You are making hybrid seeds in the labs. What these hybrid seeds can do? They can tolerate high temperature. So this is what you're doing for future. You are making hybrid seeds so that in future, if temperature increases, you can grow crops. Your crops can tolerate high temperature. So you are adjusting that in future temperature will increase. So you're doing something for the future. So mitigation, when your focus is what you do today, what you will do today, what you will do at present. So when you reducing GHG emissions at present, this is your mitigation strategy. For example, increasing production of renewable energy. Adaptation, when you are concerned with future, what you will do in future, and you want to adjust. So one example is you are making hybrid seeds which can tolerate high temperature in future so that you can adjust. Are you clear on these two strategies? So what news I was telling you, what type of fund is this? National. So that means India has a separate fund for what? For which strategy? Future strategies. That India will invest in future strategies. We will invest in adaptation strategies specifically. So we have made a fund for that. Okay. So yeah, write down the difference. Write down the difference between mitigation and adaptation. Write down. Mitigation and adaptation. Mitigation and adaptation are two different are two different strategies are two different strategies to tackle climate change. Mitigation is concerned with present strategies. Mitigation is concerned with present strategies reduce to reduce GHG emissions. To reduce GHG emissions. Example, promoting renewable energy. Promoting renewable energy. Full stop. Change the para. Adaptation is mainly concerned with future strategies in which the objective is to adjust according to conditions of climate change. Adjust according to conditions of climate change. Full stop. Example, making hybrid seeds which can tolerate making hybrid seeds which can tolerate high temperature. Full stop. Okay. Look here. A separate fund made by India for adaptation, completely funded by Government of India, central government. The complete fund would be released by central government. No contributions from state. Who is the managing authority? NABARD. NABARD will distribute the fund. NABARD is considered as national implementing entity for this fund. See, whenever you prepare projects or schemes for your UPSC prelims, always remember which ministry is implementing, which agency is implementing. Do these things for most of the schemes that you prepare for your UPSC prelims, whether in economics or whether in environment. So, funded by Government of India, implementing ministries, Ministry of Environment and Forest, and national implementing entity, the organization is NABARD. Who can get money from it? Who can get money from this fund? Only state and UT governments. No organizations, no corporates, no private companies can take money from it or can apply for funding. Who can apply for funding? Only government, state government or UT. What it will give money for? It will give money for storage of water, water security, or climate resilient agriculture. Just now I gave you an example, hybrid seeds. Making hybrid seeds for future is your adaptation. So it will invest, this fund will invest in making our agriculture ready for future. So overall, the objective is that this fund will increase India's resilience. It will make India strong, that India is able to tackle climate change. Overall, this fund is based on the principle of SDG. SDG is Sustainable Development Goals. So it is inspired from that. Clear on this? Okay. Let's see some other initiative. FAME. FAME stands for Faster Adoption and Manufacturing. Faster adoption and manufacturing of what? EV, electric vehicles, so that their penetration increases. If we increase the production, cost of EV will come down. Right now it's very costly. Even if you want to buy a EV, it is very costly. So there are two ways to reduce the price. We invest in our own manufacturing, make in India. We manufacture the electric vehicles here itself. So it will bring down the cost first. Second, it will generate employment. So two purposes will be solved. Environment benefits, economic benefits. Increase the manufacturing in India itself. FAME. So it promotes adoption of electric vehicles, EV, and even hybrids also, in which combination of electric vehicle or fossil fuel is used. This mission is not only about making vehicles, this mission is also about developing charging infrastructure, having charging points, charging stations, and in the urban areas. See, because the electric vehicle owners, it is seen in a research that these electric vehicle owners has a issue. They suffer from range anxiety. This is the mindset. If you are driving a EV, you will again and again look at that meter. How much more I can drive? How much more charge is remaining? When the next charging station would be available? So that range anxiety, which is there among the people, stops them in using electric cars. So how you can do away with range anxiety? You can do away with range anxiety by having more and more charging points. So people don't worry where the next charging point would be. If my battery goes off, how would I charge? So that range anxiety has to be done away with. So it will reduce our carbon emissions and fossil fuels. If we stop using IC engines or the vehicles which are based on internal combustion engines in which fossil fuels are consumed, our greenhouse gas emissions will go down. It says 10 lakh two-wheelers, 5 lakh three-wheelers, and four-wheelers and electric buses would be manufactured. This is the target. See, this number which I have written here is just for your understanding. Whenever you read schemes, whenever you read about any initiative, don't remember numbers. No one asks you numbers. No one asks you percentages. This is just for your understanding. Okay, this is what we want to do. You don't have to memorize this. In short, you can take out this is about manufacturing of electric vehicles. Percentages, numbers, no one asks. This is the incentive that we want to give, subsidy that we want to give, or 10,000. Under this, the subsidy would be given, incentives would be given, the battery capacity per kilowatt hour. Also, electric buses would be used in public transport. That right now you see diesel buses going around in cities. First of all, they are old, outdated, never maintained, so they pollute heavily. The pollution coming from city diesel buses is very high. So you have to replace the complete fleet in all the cities of India if you have to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions. The public transport buses has a heavy chunk of GHG emissions. You have to bring it down. Even under this scheme, it's not official, but there is a word which says that in future, the people who are coming in services, you going into services, you're getting selected into services, you get a vehicle from the government, so that vehicle would be EV, most probably. This is what government wants, to give their civil servants and their bureaucrats electric vehicles. Stop the usage of diesel vehicles by the government itself. So it encourages our transition from fossil fuel to electric mobility. This is the term which is making headlines nowadays, electric mobility. Making India capable of this. We are manufacturing more and more EV, not only manufacturing, we are using more and more EV. So that our economic conditions, manufacturing improve and our greenhouse gas emission comes down. Because India is the third largest GHG emitting country of the world. That means India comes under top 3 according to GHG emission. First is China, second is US, third is India in amount of GHG emissions. So we are a significant contributor to global warming. So if we can improve this, our oil imports will reduce. We have to import fossil fuels from abroad. Millions of dollars we have to give to someone else. We can save that much money. It can be used for development of country. So it has got multiple benefits, this scheme. Are you clear till this point? Okay. We'll continue tomorrow from here. Okay, some of you have given answers for checking. Take it from here. And in geography batch also, evening, I have checked their answers. Check. You can take it from here. And you will be receiving a practice question also. 10 questions would be forwarded to you, in which the model answers for 5 is given and 5 are for your practice. So you should go through that document for your subjective answer writing. You can write answers and submit it to me. I will cross check that. Okay, take your answer sheet, please.